Story needs a lot of background to fully grasp how severe everything is, so buckle in. My ex-boyfriend Jake, 27 male, and I, 27 female, broke up a few years ago. We had been together for over 5 years and were thinking about marriage and buying a house together. In the last year of our relationship, everything fell apart. By the way, this comes from Uncertain Nom, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, long story short, he had a sudden psychotic episode and was placed in a mental health ward, mental health facility attached to hospital. This is in Australia, FYI, for his safety. Following this, his entire personality changed and he developed delusions, hallucinations, and paranoia, which never went away. A large part of his paranoia revolved around me controlling people around him and thinking I was trying to make him look crazy. He also constantly accused me of cheating on him and told me many times that he hated me. Him was heartbreaking. He was eventually diagnosed with schizophrenia. I did everything I could to be there for him. I went to all of his mental health appointments and stayed up at night to make sure he didn't leave the house alone. He was prone to wandering out at night when experiencing psychosis. Things became too much for me to handle. He became angry, and his paranoia about me made it impossible to help him. He didn't trust me to be close to him, but at the same time, he didn't want me to leave his sight, as he was convinced I was cheating. When he seemed to be doing a little better mentally, I broke up with him. She's like, okay. I waited until I felt he would be okay on his own and helped organize for him to move back with his parents. I was filled with guilt for that decision, but it was the right choice for me. I was struggling. No love and was used as an emotional scapegoat. I did my best. He wasn't the same person anymore, and his resentment for me was intense. Obviously, this isn't the full breakdown of his mental health issues, as a lot of things he went through are very personal. I never blamed him for what happened, but I needed to be happy and did what I needed to do. It was a messy breakup, but it went better than expected. We kept talking for a little while as friends. I think the entire time we kept contact, he assumed we would get back together at some point. I continued helping him when I could. When I started a new relationship with my current partner, Sam, 30 male, Jake had a really bad psychotic episode. He accused me of cheating on him with Sam before we broke up, which makes no sense as I met Sam after we broke up and sent both of us intense messages. Jake's family, who got him the help he needed. Following this, I cut all contact with Jake. It was obvious that we couldn't maintain a friendship anymore. Of him, but I definitely think that no contact is a good idea.
Agreed.
I have to Jake is my brother's girlfriend, Jess, 29 female. She and Jake have been friends for years and have maintained their friendship. She knows the entire background to our relationship and never chose sides. Say I'm close with her. We have always been friendly. It always made me happy to know that Jake still had a good friend to confide in. Shift forward to March 2022. I got pregnant with Sam's baby in January and was 3 months pregnant. I had just told my family and close friends about the pregnancy. I told everyone to keep it quiet, as I didn't feel ready to publicly announce it. I was incredibly emotional, nauseous, and in no state to deal with any potential fallout at that point. Less than 24 hours passed after telling my side of the family, and I received a phone call from Jake. He had found out I was pregnant and left a voicemail saying he would be filing for custody of the baby. Obviously, he was in a psychotic episode, so I ignored his calls and let his family know that he had reached out to me. By this point, it had been over a year since we had even spoken. He has no idea where I live or work, so I'm not worried about him showing up physically to confront me. I knew the only way he could have found out would have been through Jess. I called and confronted her about it, and she admitted to it. She was extremely apologetic and said she didn't think it would matter. She thought he would be fine with the news and said he deserved to know. No, he doesn't. I was upset by this, but I hadn't explicitly told her not to tell Jake, so it could have just been a mistake. Even though I told her to tell no one, I bit my tongue to keep the peace. I forgave her, but made it very clear that she shouldn't tell Jake any more information about me or the baby. And she agreed. It would never happen again. If you didn't hear anything from Jake for months. Last weekend was my baby shower. Sam and I had the baby shower together. It was more of a party than a traditional baby shower. We hired a function room at a bar and invited 80 people to come celebrate. We were all having a great time until I saw Jake standing at the bar looking around. I managed to slip away without him seeing me and grabbed security to get him escorted out. The area had been roped off for us as a private function, so I simply told them he hadn't been invited. I watched as security approached him and asked him to leave. He was furious and started yelling, demanding to talk to me before he would leave. So OP went over to try and talk him down, but it only escalated. He screamed at Sam, claimed that he was the baby's real dad and that we had never really broken up. I left to hide in the ladies' room until my mom came to let me know Jake was gone. He had eventually left after a little more screaming. I was mortified. We cut the baby shower short. I couldn't stop crying. It has now been only a few days and I've confronted Jess. She's the only person who would have possibly told him the location and time of the baby shower. Phone with her this time. She admitted to telling him and apologized, but said, "How can I keep this a secret from him? By shutting your mouth." Yeah. Furious, and told her that she would no longer receive any news about me or the baby and that I would knife. I'm not proud of it, but I screamed at her. I couldn't believe how irresponsible she had been. It wasn't her news to share. My brother called me after and asked me to forgive her. At least he didn't ask you to apologize. He didn't think he should also be punished for what she had done. He knew that by cutting her out, I also wouldn't be telling him any news about the baby. In part, he thought I should blame Jake for his reaction and not Jess. That she hadn't known he would show up, the damage was already done, and I should let it go. No. I honestly don't blame Jake for what happened. He is mentally ill and needs help. It's not his fault, and I know he will regret all of this when he comes back to a more clear headspace. I told his family what had happened, and they told me he was readmitted to the mental health ward. Regardless of whether I think he is at fault, I definitely don't feel safe with Jake now. Of course not. I have a child to think about, and him thinking it is somehow his is pretty scary. I haven't budged with Jess or my brother. My family all think I should forgive her so my brother can meet his niece and nephew. We don't know the sex yet. But I just can't trust her. She already broke my trust once, and I'm furious. I could have been hurt if Jake had confronted me at the shower. So many things could have gone wrong. I don't know what to do. I'm heartbroken that my brother may not get to meet this baby for a while, but I'm scared that she could tell Jake information about the baby that could put us in danger. My parents and other family members have all agreed not to tell Jess or my brother any information about the baby upon threat of also being cut out. Like, this is how long I can feasibly cut them out before I crack. Sam is obviously on my side with all of this. If it wasn't for him, I would be in a much worse state. Any advice would be appreciated. I'm finding it hard to stick to my pew-pews on this and worry that news will leak to Jess from other family members. My parents were particularly hesitant to promise not to tell my brother when the baby is born.